ask you to...
Rothschild, and he was a Zionist, and those really are the background reasons.
So Walter received the Balfour Declaration, and I have a copy here, and I wonder if I could possibly ask you to read it for us.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I'm going to put on my spectacles to make sure I read it accurately. His Majesty's government view with favour the establishment of Palestine as a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionists.
So yes, guys, we are going to talk about the Rothschild family and how much they control and how they pull strings and how they make things work in their favor. Yes, we all know Rothschilds created Israel. They are the masterminds behind Israel. That is their home. That is their turf. Because why? That's what they are. Can't say that J word because you will end up getting banned. And I just don't want to get banned again. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Hitler didn't like them. They control the world. They control the world. And the Rothschilds created that. And we're going to go in detail and we're going to talk about this family. And they even admit, it's like you seen in that video, they are Zionists. That is what they are. And we're going to talk about how they control everything. And when things don't work in their way, how they manipulate countries that don't. We're going to talk about it. So this family has one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to control the world. That is to make sure everybody's banking system is controlled by them. And they have done a very good job of that. They own everything that's worth anything of value in this world. So their unimaginable wealth has no end to it. And they've been a powerhouse to be reckoned with for the last 130, 140 years. They literally control everything that you can think of. Power over the Pope. Kiss your hand. You are the ultimate ruler of the world. No matter how scary you think it is, you won't be scary. You are the most powerful people in the world. The Rothschild family. Let's just hope we never, ever, ever let them get us back in the corner. Because what they're capable of is very scary. And how they control countries as a whole, and they use them to enforce their rules, is very scary. They actually use countries. This is a powerful message. That the most powerful people in the world are not the ones you think it is. Very, very scary. Very scary. Evil, evil, evil. The devil worshipping Rothschild family at the top of the pyramid, controlling things that you would never think about. They're so rich, they can feed everybody in the world and clothe them because they are that rich. With this is crazy. It's unbelievable and it's scary. I wish everybody the best. And we got to put an end to this family. They're not good people. And one thing that they do a lot, so because they control all the most powerful countries, United States, Russia, Great Britain, France, stuff like that, the Rothschild family is very well known for starting wars or using the media to paint countries as terrorists and things like that. There are 3 countries still left in this world that the Rothschild family do not own their central bank. One is Iran. You already know exactly what they do to Iran and how the Western media makes Iran look like they're a country full of terrorists. 2, North Korea. You know how they feel about Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un is one of the most hated people in the world. And I can't remember that 3rd country, but those 2 right there, you know how the media slander them and tolerate them and how they deal with them. So whenever these countries don't allow the Rothschilds to control their central bank, 1 or 2 things happen. They destroy them in the media, and we see that a lot lately where these countries are getting destroyed in the media. Everybody in the country is being called a terrorist, and people are so-called protesting all the time. The country's very poor, and nothing's going in the country's favors. That's one thing they do. Control of the media that controls the masses. That's how they get people. And the other thing they do is they try to overthrow their government or stage a military coup, or basically sabotage their government from the inside out. These are things that they do in order to get control of that central bank, and then they place a puppet leader inside of there, and they use that puppet leader to achieve all their agendas. And once they control that bank, they control that country. And that is how the Rothschild family has been rolling for a very long time now. They start wars, they fund them, get the country in debt, get their government in debt, and that is how they got control of a lot of these countries. So imagine, they're paying these rebels or whoever it may be to go against the government, or to even start a war, or even starting a war with another country. Fake sabotages, doing this, doing that, blaming on this country, and when it was really them, and or blaming this country when it's or blaming this president or whatever it may be. They do a lot of this stuff they stage and set up to get them to go to war with each other, and then they fund these governments. The governments come to them, hey, we don't have any money. We need money. We're losing this war right now, or we're gonna lose if we don't get any more money to purchase tanks, aircraft, weapons, armor, whatever it may be. So they feed these governments money. When these governments are in the war, they're broke. And then, so now they borrow money for war, and now they need money to rebuild their infrastructure. Where are they going to get this money from? They have to go back to the Rothschild family. And then they're given these crazy interest rates and this crazy time frame to have it done, but they have no choice but to accept it. And then when they don't get it done, it's a lot of clauses in their contracts to say, hey, okay, well, if you didn't get this done, you didn't pay off your loan by this time, that you have to give us 60% of the oil in your country, or this or that. The background to what they had to give up was just outrageous. And then once they can't afford to do so, Rothschild family takes control of their government and basically tells them what percentage they want. They're going to do exactly what they're told to do by the Rothschilds for such and such amount of time. And they kind of try to make it sound a little juicy. We'll keep you protected from any outside countries trying to come in and attack you. But again, guys, this is what the Rothschild family does. They've been manipulating people for a very long time. And now it's time to wake up and take out one of the most powerful most powerful families in the world. This family has destroyed countries, destroyed people, destroyed, citizens. They've destroyed literally everything they put their hands in. Now you tell me, is this scary or not? Because right now, they're putting together another war. They are. Guys, remember, the world is controlled by the Jays. I can't say the name, but the world is controlled by them. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hitler didn't like them once again. This is what the world is going through. Pray for them, y'all. Pray for them. Just take your time, close your eyes, put your head down for a moment of silence for a quick second. Because they're going to need it. Because stuff is starting to change on them. People are starting to stand up again. There's a lot of countries that don't like being controlled by Israel. Remember, Israel controls the world. There are countries that hate Israel and always trying to go to war with them. Those are the countries that are made out to be the bad people, guys. Israel is taking advantage of this and starting wars, destroying governments, destroying democracy. But they're protected by the most powerful people in the countries in the world. Why? Because they have that grip on them countries. They control their economies. They control their people. They control everything. The media is controlled by them. What we see is controlled by them. They censor whatever they want. Why do you think a lot of these governments, even in the United States, are starting to take away freedom of speech? Companies are able to stop you, or they even silence a president of the United States. They have too much control. And it's a battle that we will fight and we will win. Watch out for the Rothschild family.